Baseball, basketball. Obviously, we got hockey in the playoffs, and we are counting down to the NFL draft. It is so wonderful to have you guys with us. I hope your Tuesday is going well, no matter where you are in the world, no matter what platform you're watching on, TikTok, YouTube, Twitch, and Kick. We are so grateful here at Butt Fumble Sports to be able to talk to you guys almost every single day about what's happening in the sports world. That's what we do here. We rant about sports. We talk sports betting, fantasy sports. We do our research every single day across all these platforms with sports fans just like you to try to get the most of our sports viewing experience. Hope you guys are doing well. Let us know if you guys have any questions, if you guys need help with your picks today. That's what we've been doing recently. We will continue to do that today. So throw out your questions across our platforms. Let us know what you care about. Whether you want us to rant about a topic, do you feel strongly about something going on out there, or if you have a bet. Now, I know that's what a lot of you are lining up for. What do you guys care about? How to maybe put some dollars in your pocket? We'll do our research right here in front of you. The Benihana of sports betting. Cooking up hopefully some good advice and some good trends. Great to see you. D. Turner, great to see you with us. Great to see so many familiar handles. Always wonderful to have you guys with us every single day. Jet, Richardson, Reed, can we get through today's MLB best baseball bets? We are going to talk about some of those. Let me actually throw a few out. I love seeing familiar faces. It gets me excited. So let's also throw out some MLB game picks just to give a big shout out to all of you. I am going back to the well on a few of our picks from yesterday. I do like Braves on the money line. You guys know I liked that yesterday. Max Fried on the bump today. I do like the Braves on the money line. Another one I like Braves and Marlins to go over their run total, over 7.5, over 8. I definitely like that play. So a couple of bets out there for those who are just getting in with us. We are going to be live for at least an hour, if not longer, talking about what's going on in the sports world. Great to have you guys with us. Continuing to answer some of your questions as you throw them up in the chat. D. Turner, give me Bucks, Mavericks, Reds on the under 9, and Suns, Wolves over 202.5. Very interesting, D. Turner. Okay, first things first, I don't feel the same way about the Reds under 9, actually. I'm going with the Phillies and Reds over 8.5 and over 9. Let's go see what the sports book's like on that one. Interesting that we have a difference of opinion between me and D. Turner on this one. This game in Cincinnati, weather a bit better on this. 87% of the tickets are on the over. 89% of the money is on the over as well. So we'll have to see on the over. Now, I will say this. The Phillies, as an away favorite, are undefeated so far this season towards the under. I actually want to throw that stat up here on the big board because you guys will love it. So as you see up here, it's 0-7. It actually hit last night as well, the under, as I'm getting it to load right now on killersports.com, one of the websites that we use every day for our research. But the under is now 7-0 when the Phillies are a road favorite. I expect that to end tonight. Cincinnati is a ballpark that's notorious for being cruel to pitchers, producing a lot of home runs. And we have a good weather day in Cincinnati. We didn't yesterday, we do today. I expect there will be some reason to be optimistic about balls leaving the ballpark. And one player I actually want to talk about from that game, because I'm going to take the over, and I'm even going to put that one up on the big board. So D. Turner, I'm going away from you on your pick. We'll get into some of the other ones you put up there, but Phillies Reds is actually one that I do like. I like over 8.5 in this game. And there's a player that I like specifically, Trey Turner. Trey Turner, I believe, has a very good matchup for tonight. So I'm going to throw him up here on Outlier. Outlier is a sports betting research tool that we use as well. It does require a subscription. So if you want to check it out, free 7-day trial, just DM me on Instagram, Buttfumble Sports on Instagram, and that way you can get access to it. I can get him at over 1.5 hits, runs, and RBIs for Prize Picks, Underdog. Unfortunately, DraftKings, BetMGM, it's set at 2.5. That's really unfortunate. I really like this at a 1.5 spot. It's been a very good trend of late. Even 2.5 has been very strong. He's going up against a left-handed pitcher in Abbott. The matchup for him, favorable. I know he's 0-2 in his career against him, but against left-handed pitching, he is raking to start the season. 368 against left-handed pitching. I expect Trey Turner to have a big game. The over 1.5, probably not one that you're going to get at great spots if you can get it, but I'd be just about Trey Turner. However you could get him right now, over half a run, I certainly like. He's scored a run in 8 of his last 9 games. It's just a good play all the way around. Find ways to get Trey Turner. If you're doing fantasy baseball, we talk about Rival Fantasy. That's the fantasy baseball website that I use every day. I got Trey Turner earlier today. I put that out on my Instagram account. So Trey Turner, over 1.5 hits, runs, RBIs. I might even be talked into doing the 2.5 where it's being offered. I expect him to have a very big game, but I take Trey Turner specifically on over half a run. I feel like that's one of the best plays for this. Trey Turner over half a run. So that's another play that we're just putting out here as we're kicking off the show, talking some of the games that are going on. JP, so great to see you over on YouTube. What's your thoughts on Lightning versus Panthers, the under 6.5? Let's quickly jump on over to it, talking some hockey, some playoff puck. Lightning and Panthers is the game that we're looking at. The money is certainly favoring the over. Right now, this is set at 5.5. You should be aware the under 6.5, very interesting. Over 5.5 right now is getting 94% of the money in the market. So we're always curious as to how the money's coming down. Now, if we are to move that line to under 6.5, as you suggest, the under's actually been a pretty good play at that line. Florida over the last 10 games has hit the under in 7 of their last 10. However, you have to account that that's the end of the regular season. So let's jump on over to killersports.com and see if we can dive into this a little bit more. Now, this game is Tampa Bay Lightning and the Florida Panthers. And just seeing how they performed against each other over the course of the year. Over-under has split 2-2. Average amount of goals actually has been around 7, actually. 2.8 goals for the Lightning, 4.5 goals for the Panthers. So, by the way, you might want to just take the Panthers. That might be the better play in this game. Panthers winning feels like the right play. Panthers on the money line is probably what I would take for this game. So I'm actually going to put that one up on the board so you guys know. I'm taking Panthers on the money line. Just seeing the trend that I'm seeing in the matchup between the two teams, I certainly like that, and I like the goal margins in these games. Panthers have really dominated play, and they've done a good job defensively, so keep your eye on that. But if we're going to just look for a few more trends, how about the Lightning as an away dog against an opponent with an average winning percentage above 500, just considering the kind of situation that they're in tonight? They're 6-10 straight up. The over-under has been much harder to predict, and now you're getting a sense of why I'm going with the play on the money line as opposed to the total. I'm not really crazy about this total. I think if anything, I would take the over 5.5. Over 5.5 feels like a good play. Could I see it being a 3-2 game? Sure, but I feel like there's an extra goal in there to get us to 6. So I would go with the over 5.5 if I go Lightning Panthers on the total. Personally, I'm not going to put that up on the big board. Prefer my play of Panthers on the money line, just based on what we're seeing. Kyle Klein, great to see you in the comment section. Let's see, Logan Webb, over under 5.5 strikeouts. Let's check that one out really quick. I'm just going to jump on over to my notes, because actually one of the places I go for baseball is ballparkpal.com, but they require a subscription, and they are not a sponsor of the show. So I have a subscription, and I'm willing to look up the information, but I'm not going to showcase it on the show just yet because we're not there in our relationship with ballparkpal.com. But that said, Logan Webb, I would expect the under based on what they're telling me. Really quick, let's jump on over to killersports.com. And one thing that I really like actually about killersports.com, by the way, free website out there. So if any of you that are watching the show kind of want to play along with us at home or like doing research on your own, I don't want you to think that this is something that I exclusively do. There are plenty of people on social media that do it. We just hope we do it in a more entertaining way. But if you guys want to do this on your own at home, you can with killersports.com. So I plug in the year 2024. I can also backdate it just to get a bit more data, 2023 and 2024 in this instance. And I can actually plug in Logan Webb and just see how he's done in starts. I'm going to jump on over so we can take a look at this game that the Giants have tonight. Giants are hosting the Mets tonight. Giants are favored. So I'll just plug in Logan Webb as a home favorite over the last year plus. Now, you're asking specifically about strikeouts, so we're going to keep our eye on that. The team as a whole, the team has been averaging around 8.47 strikeouts per game when Logan Webb is on the mound. I know that's not a great indication because it's not specifically to him, but I wanted to showcase this feature, and this gave me the opportunity, and I just wanted to let you know about it. One interesting note, though, the over-under in his starts over the last year plus, the under is 11-4. You might want to keep your eye on the total in this game. Right now, the total is set at 7. Luis Severino, Logan Webb. Interestingly enough, the money is on the over. 82% of the money's coming on the over. I'm just curious about that. Maybe it has to do with the fact that Luis Severino has had his struggles, but the under's actually been a very strong play with Logan Webb on the mound. Really quick. And rest. They played yesterday. Rest is 0. Under 9-4 under the circumstances that we have now. So, a lot of reason to believe that if you like the Giants tonight, the under might be a strong play. As for the strikeouts, Logan Webb, I feel like over 5.5. It feels a little aggressive. Personally, I'm not going to bet it myself, but if I were to take it in any direction, I would take the under on it. Under is the play. Kyle Klein, appreciate hearing from you. Love knowing that you're out there watching the show, and appreciate all of you guys watching the show. Do we have a lock of the day? No, we don't have a lock of the day. We're kind of anti-lock. We do give out some of our favorite bets throughout the show. Let me put another one up on the board for all those that are watching. Another one of my favorite bets of the day that I'm putting up here. It is going to be a baseball bet, just because baseball is kind of the place we're going to go today. I'm big on Mookie Betts, very big on Mookie Betts. So let's jump on over to our player prop bets and check out Mookie Betts' totals for today. He's facing Patrick Corbin. This is a great righty-lefty matchup. Over hits, runs, and RBIs is set at 2.5. That hasn't been a very strong play, so you may not want to necessarily go with it, but I think he has the potential to have that kind of massive performance. Patrick Corbin, in his career against Corbin, Mookie Betts has 12 at-bats. He's gone .583 in terms of average with a home run, 2 RBIs. So he just has a massive average against him. Maybe you want to go for over 1.5 total bases. Maybe that's your interest here. Over 1.5 bases, I feel like is a good play. I'm willing to put that one up on the board. Mookie Betts over 1.5 total bases. I think he gets an extra base hit, if not multiple hits. I'll also take Mookie Betts over half a run. Much like Trey Turner, when there's a player that I really like and their hits, runs, and RBIs is set at 2.5, I usually just like to take the over half a run because so often these guys are table setters for the rest of the lineup. Trey Turner, Mookie Betts, great opportunity to get good value on them as over half a run as compared to hits, runs, RBIs when it's set at 2.5. So just another bet that I'm putting up on the board. If you guys have questions of your own, we're going to answer some of them. Bad weather in the Bay, going to be windy. Andy Robles letting us know. It kind of encourages me to take a play. I will let you guys know the pick I'm about to give out is not in line with the money. It is not in line with the money. So in this way, I'm the sports book because I'm going against it. I'm going under 7.5. I'm going Mets, Giants, under 7.5. I feel like that's the stronger play. I'm going to check on over on my notes. Yeah, weather in the Bay is very bad. And really quick, oof. If you could get it at 8, this is what I would say. I would say if you could get it under 8, I'd really like that because I'd like the push in my favor. So Mets and Giants, it's 7 right now. It opened at 8. It moved down to 7. It's too bad because the spot I want to take it is the under 8. That's a minus 187, but we're riding it down, and I believe that's probably the right play given where the weather is and the pitching matchup. The only concern I have really is Luis Severino. But other than that, Mets Giants, we like the under 7.5, under 8. Unders were very big yesterday. Unders had a massive day. I don't expect that to be the case across baseball today, but this is one under that I do like. Appreciate you guys being with us. Do not forget that on Thursday night, much like the rest of the world, we're going to be talking about the NFL draft. We are going to do a live show for the NFL draft. I'm actually going to be live across TikTok, YouTube, Twitch, and Kick, reacting to the draft along with every single one of you. I know there are a lot of places to watch the draft, so maybe you just want to stop by for a little bit and give us your reactions to everything. But I figure if I'm going to watch the draft, I might as well watch it with the followers of Butt Fumble Sports, some of the best sports fans out there. So we're going to talk fantasy implications. We're going to talk about win totals. We're obviously going to talk about players that get selected, the trades, what we think the fallout is from everything that happens over Thursday's, 3-4 hour drama that is the NFL draft happening in Detroit. So Motown will take center stage. Hope you guys join us for that. Should be really exciting. Jennifer, can you look up stats with Panthers Ryan Lomborg not playing since he's out? Well, what do you want me specifically to look up, Jennifer, when it comes to him being out? We can look up player prop bets in that, but what specifically do you look for? I personally am not one to... I will say, I do not advocate for hockey player prop bets. That is a player prop bet that I feel is very sketch. I'm really not an advocate for it because there's so little reliability on data. Baseball, high reliability on data, validated a good percentage of the time. Basketball as well, as we continue to scan the court and literally collect and aggregate more data about basketball. Hockey, so hard to really gauge that. So we'll say I would hope I could maybe talk you out of that. Watched you last year during the draft. Bryson, hope you join us again. For all of those, by the way, who want to play fantasy football with us this year, we will be doing fantasy football leagues, inviting anyone and everyone who wants to participate for money. Rival Fantasy actually puts money behind their leagues. A lot of you guys participated with us last year and got paid. So we will be doing that all summer, all the way up until kickoff of the year. So if you guys want to literally get in on a fantasy football league that's got money behind it, make sure you join us. We're going to talk about fantasy football, but I know a lot of you guys are still waiting on some shoes to drop related to whether it's free agency or the health of certain players, and you're not wrong. This is a kind of tough time of year to get a sense of it. So if you're in a dynasty league, don't make trades too quick just yet. Dan Lee Dance, what time are you going to be live on Thursday? Probably between 7:15 and 7:30. We're going to do our normal show around 4:30, 5 o'clock. I'll probably take an hour off, get some food, and then we're going to get ready for the draft. Should be an awesome time. I will be watching the broadcast, so I'll be able to see what's going on, and that way we can all keep track together, but a good watch party that we'll have. Appreciate you guys being with us. Jennifer, what do you think about Anthony Edwards' point line? Let's get to work, everybody. We got a player prop bet to hunt down right now. Doing this for one of our favorites, Jennifer, letting us know where we should be focused, and that's Anthony Edwards and his point total tonight. So let's go take a look at it, everyone. By the way, Anthony Edwards is, I think, the most exciting, entertaining player in the NBA right now. I don't necessarily think he is the best player in the league. I think it's close. But in terms of entertainment, I don't know if there's anyone who's giving you more value night in, night out. Now, something that is unfortunate for him, he has a slightly tricky matchup against the Phoenix Suns. They're 14th in the league against shooting guards. However, that didn't seem to be a problem last game as he got 33 points. Now, is Anthony Edwards going to turn into a monster in the playoffs, go into playoff mode? That is remaining to be seen. This is what I'm kind of curious about. Over the last 20 games, when he's had a 30-point game, he has repeated that. So he's had some consistency with that, and there's reason for me to believe that he could do it again. He had a 51-point game. He got to 25. His point total tonight is set at 25.5. Drop that down just a bit. Take it at 24.5, and I think this is a very good play. I think they're highly reliant on him. I don't think the Phoenix Suns have a defense that can necessarily stop him. So I would be willing to take Anthony Edwards over 24.5 points. Let's dive into this a little bit more. Specifically at home against the Phoenix Suns. He's gone over this point total twice. He did miss it quite poorly 2 other times. So there is some inconsistency here. Let's take a look when Karl Anthony Towns is in the lineup. That's what we care about. Man, missed it the 2 other times. Looking at the injury report for tonight's game. By the way, Grayson Allen, game time decision with a right ankle sprain. Kyle Anderson, game time decision with right hip. Say with no Kyle Anderson in the lineup. Yeah, I like it at 24.5. I think he gets to 25 points. Do I think he puts up a 33-point performance like he did the other night? No, but I feel good about Anthony Edwards getting to 25 points. So, Jennifer, it's not one of my favorite bets of the night. There aren't enough trends for me to really get excited about this one. But I would say if I had to go in any direction, I'd go over 24.5 points at minus 140. That's available on DraftKings, FanDuel, and Caesars as we see it here on Outlier. Appreciate you guys being with us. If any of you guys are curious about the picks that we have put up on the board already, here is a recap of all the picks that we've put up. So far, we have Braves on the money line. Marlins and Braves over 7.5, over 8. Phillies and Reds over 8.5. Mets and Giants under 7.5 or under 8. Trey Turner over 1.5 hits, runs, and RBIs if you can find it at a good price. Trey Turner over half a run. Mookie Betts over 1.5 total bases, and Mookie Betts over half a run. And finally, one NHL game pick that we've put out so far. Panthers on the money line. Panthers on the money line is the next one that we've put out. Pacers and Bucks is a request we're getting. Let's go dive into that NBA playoff game. Pacers and Bucks. Right now, the Bucks 1.5 point favorite. They impressed, obviously, in game 1, shocking a lot of pundits who thought the Pacers were going to get a game 1 win. Damian Lillard went back to Dame time, Portland Dame mode, and I feel like they have found a new energy from that. I'm kind of curious how this team's going to perform once Giannis comes back, but that's not the issue tonight. This is really interesting. If I have to point out anything before we get started, the public and the money do not agree on this game. So far, the public very heavily on the Pacers, but the money likes the Bucks. 82% of the tickets are on the Pacers to win, but 78% of the money is on the Bucks to win. When we see those the discrepancy there, when we see those 2 points going in opposite directions, I would advise to follow the money. I don't really care what the public thinks. I care where the money is coming down, and I'd rather be on the side of the money on this one. So it's interesting that the Bucks are getting a little bit more love here. Additionally, same factor, same kind of wind forces and energy forces we're seeing here. Pacers 50-50 when it comes to the spread, split ticket on the public money, on the public tickets rather, but 76% of the money is on the Bucks to cover that 1.5 point spread. Very interesting there. The over is also getting a little bit of love, so keep your eye on the over for this game. We'll talk about that in just a moment. Now, this game opened at 2.5 in favor of the Bucks, has worked its way down to 1.5. Clearly, the public pushing the Pacers is one of the reasons for that. Injuries for this one. Giannis Antetokounmpo is out. That's the only name of note. Let's dive into some of the trends on this one. Going to the NBA, killersports.com, checking this out. Now, obviously, the Pacers and Bucks have a history this year that favors the Pacers, but we saw from game one that really isn't applicable because these are two very different teams when Giannis isn't on the floor, and frankly, the Pacers aren't the same team as they were much earlier in the year. Offensively, they are not nearly as dynamic. Let's just take a bit of a step back and look at this right now. Pacers and Bucks, I believe they're on 2 days of rest. We'll get corrected if I'm wrong. It's 1 day of rest. Yeah. Okay, so on 1 day of rest so far this year, when they're an away underdog against an opponent that has an above 500 winning percentage, they've actually gone 5-7 straight up. Interestingly enough, the over-under has gone 6-6, but the under has been an incredibly strong play. I'm actually going to date this. Let's look at since the start of the new year. Since the start of 2024. The under has gone 6-2 in the last 8 games in which the Pacers have been a road underdog when both teams are on 1 day of rest and their opponent has an above 500 winning percentage. I'm just giving you the trends based on the data. It's kind of interesting there. Again, the money's coming down on the over. The trend here favors the under. I'm not, this is just one trend that we're looking at. Let's flip this around. Let's look at the Bucks. When the Bucks have been a home favorite, same scenario, opponent above 500 winning percentage, 1 day of rest. Everything's kind of even on this one. Over, under, 3-3. They've gone 3-3 straight up, 3-3 against the spread. So nothing that we're really seeing so far that really stands out. Honestly, this isn't a game that I'm excited to necessarily bet. Part of the reason I say that is, can the Pacers make the kind of adjustments necessary to stop Dame Lillard? If they can limit Dame Lillard, this is a much different game. I personally would not bet this game. If you did push me in one direction, I think I'd go Bucks. I do think they found something in game one. I am more riding this based on what I saw than as opposed to the data. The data right now, I think, slightly favors the Pacers. My problem with that is the data is highly based on how they performed in December, January, even November. There's a part of that that really holds me back. This Pacers team is not nearly as dynamic offensively now. I actually think the under might be a slightly better play. So I'm kind of going against the money on this one in terms of the total. If I had to go in any direction, and I'm not going to bet this game. It's not going on my big board. I would go under the 223. Wow, yeah, I'd go under the 223. Really, I'd raise it up. I think it's under 227, 226 and a half, 227. I actually think this is played right around a 222 to 225 game, really depending on how free throws come down at the very end. But the whole point is, I think Dame Lillard plays well again because I think they actually have a better offense for him now without Giannis as opposed to when Giannis is on the floor. I know the dynamic pick and roll involving the two of them is amazing, but the rest of the team isn't the same. And frankly, Dame as a shooter isn't the same because I think he's afraid to ball hog a little bit. And Giannis, frankly, they're two kind of ball-heavy players. So with that said, I just have to believe that Dame plays well again. I would take the Bucks to win, and I would take the Bucks minus 1.5. Again, not going up on the big board, but you guys asked the questions, so trying to give you guys a sense of what I like. Now, I do want to go look at the player prop bets really quick with no Giannis on the floor. That's actually something that we've been very successful with, and something that I really like to look at is when we can look at players, how have they performed when one of their teammates isn't available? You get a good sense of data behind that. Let's take a look at Damian Lillard when it comes to points. His point total right now is set at 29.5. Obviously, he had 35 points last game. Second half, non-existent, but his first half was everything. Now, the Pacers are actually, statistically, a good defense against point guards. They're 6th in points allowed, but that's not what we're focused on. We're focused on how Dame has performed without Giannis on the floor so far this year, and he has been a 30 30-point machine. He has gone to at least 30 points in 7 of 10 games played without Giannis so far this year. Let's extend that. In his last 20 games without Giannis, he has gone to at least 30 points, 13 out of those 20 games. Now, when he's had 35 points or more, he's followed that up with a 30-point game in 1, 2, 3, 4 out of 6 times. He did it last game. Now, this opened at 29.5, went up to 30.5, and came back down to 29.5. So you feel like the market is set pretty strong. Does he get to 30 points? I might bring this down a touch. If you go over 28.5, I wouldn't blame you for it. But without Giannis on the floor, this has been a very strong play. How about at home? In the last 10 games at home without Giannis, he has gone to at least 30 points in 8 of his last 10 games. The 2 games he missed, he had 21 points against the Clippers. You think that's a really good defensive team, especially at the time they played. And the other time was the Orlando Magic. He had 29 points. That's why I advocate the 28 if I just go with the run there. So let me put up this pick for you guys right now. I'm going Damian Lillard over 28.5 points. I'd also go over the 29.5 points. Without Giannis on the floor, very strong trends there. Appreciate you guys watching the show. Make sure you hit the follow button. Make sure you subscribe. Make sure you're watching us every time that we go live. Carrie is watching us currently on her TV. Or is that John? I always forget Carrie is John. But watching me on TV, a whole nother level. Always a dream come true there. Hope you're enjoying your afternoon, no matter where you're watching us, whether on your phone, on your laptop, on an on an iPad, or on your TV. Wonderful to know that you're with us. Someone's asking about Dame on assists. Interesting idea. So we looked at points. How about his assist total? Good idea. Now it's set at 6.5. Point guards against the Pacers. Pacers are the number 1 defense in assists allowed to point guards, so a very good defense against it. Let's see how he's done without Giannis on the floor so far this year. And the assist total is not nearly as consistent, and it makes sense. Dame feels like he has to play the role of scorer rather than facilitator. Again, it's much like Portland Dame was, as opposed to who he's tried to morph into in Milwaukee. When he's playing with Giannis, that's when I'd go look for the assist total to maybe go up a little bit. But without Giannis, Dame's going to take it upon himself to score. One player that I do want to look at, since I don't really like Dame on the assist total, I want to look at Bobby Portis. Bobby Portis, playoff Bobby Portis. His point total right now is set at 18.5. Let's dive into that a little bit. It opened at 18.5. It went down to 17.5. I'm not saying I know anything about this, but I'm just taking an eye on it. In his last 10 home games, he's gone over this point total 5 out of his last 10. He only had 10 points in their 15 points rather in their game the other night. So let's just look without Giannis on the floor in his last 8 home games. Without Giannis, he has gone over 18.5 points 6 times. The 2 times he missed was game 1 and last year against the Miami Heat back in April. Keep your eye on that one. I think I probably do prefer it at the 17 or 16.5. But if you're looking for a player, I think that could go over their point total. Keep your eye on Bobby Portis. Let's just look at this against the Pacers. Whether it's at home, he hit this once earlier. Not much data you could take on it. See, this is with Giannis in there, but that obviously makes sense. He's not going to score the same number of points, but just keep your eye on that. We're just looking for other players who could step up. What about Middleton? Really quick, let's take a look at Chris Middleton's point total. Set at 20.5, opened at 19.5, went up to 20.5. In home games, hasn't been a very consistent trend. Against the Pacers at home, a little better. Not terribly consistent. I don't like it at the 20.5. I understand that this is a very good matchup. Pacers are 28th in points allowed to small forwards. If you wanted to take Middleton at over 19.5, I'm great with that, but be on the side of the 19.5, not the 20.5. Make sure that if he hits 20 points, you're cashing your ticket. I feel like he's going to be right around 19 to 20, maybe even up to 23, but I feel like he's going to hover around that margin. But make sure that you have 20 points in your pocket as opposed to 20 points in the sportsbook's favor. Appreciate you guys watching the show. Hope you're having a wonderful afternoon, no matter where you're watching. If you ever want to reach us off the air, if you ever want to get my picks off the air, DM us on Instagram. Butt Fumble Sports is the name of our company. We're on Instagram. We're obviously on TikTok. We're also on Twitter X. So make sure that you hit us up, Butt Fumble Sports. We love talking sports with you guys. We don't care what it is. I was always the guy who was talking sports with every person I came in contact with, and I just want to continue doing that throughout my life. So if you're a rabid sports fan who watches sports content throughout the day across social media, who has various fantasy sports teams, who places sports bets, who finds any excuse to talk about, watch, or just engage with sports talk, you've come to the right place. Make sure that you guys hit us up, because I am a sports friend for all those sports fans out there. So make sure that you guys are with us, and make sure you let us be a part of your routine every single day, because we absolutely love it. With that said, everybody, make sure you join us on Thursday, because we're talking fantasy football, we're talking NFL, and of course we're talking the draft. We have the graduation of this year's college football players to the NFL. Who's going to go 1? We all know. Who's going to go 2 through 32? I have no idea. I think we know who's going number 2, maybe even number 3. But it is going to be a wild night. If you've been listening to Schefter, Schrager, or any of the NFL insiders, it is going to be a wild night. And we are going to be with you live on TikTok, YouTube, Twitch, and Kick. So make sure you guys are with us on Thursday night. We will be live at around 7:15, 7:30, being live the entire night. We're going to watch the coverage together, get a sense of what's going to be the new landscape of the NFL. If I had a little bit of a preview, I feel like the rich are going to get richer. And what do I mean by that? I feel like a lot of teams are chasing quarterbacks, which tells me a lot of teams don't have confidence that they are even close to the level that the Kansas City Chiefs are. I thought the Patriots dynasty was the last dynasty we would see. I am not sure of that anymore, because the Kansas City Chiefs are going to get great players. The fact that so many quarterbacks are going to go in this draft, there are so many wide receivers. The Chiefs could get a great defensive player. The Chiefs could get a great wide receiver. Brock Bowers could fall, not to the Chiefs, but there are a lot of really good players. There are even some good corners in this draft who could fall. And because of that, teams that are already well equipped at the quarterback position and some of the more important positions, they are going to get steals. First round, second round, third round steals, because of the fact that this is an offensive heavy draft and there's going to be a run on certain positions. I am so curious to know what happens on Thursday night. So make sure you carve out a little bit of time in your content consumption on Thursday to join Butt Fumble Sports as we go through everything in the first round. Let's get back to some of your questions. If you guys have them, throw them in there in the comment section. We are back. Fantasy football talk is obviously in the off season, but we are here for fantasy baseball, fantasy basketball. We are here for NBA playoffs and NHL playoffs and MLB betting every day. And we just love ranting about sports. So if you have questions, throw them in the comment section. What do you think of the Falcons this year? Get on board with the Falcons. Get on that ship now. If I actually could take any futures bet right now, I would take the Falcons to win the NFC South. If we've learned anything in that division, the team that is making the big offseason move often makes the playoffs. That division is topsy-turvy. I don't think the Saints have done enough to overcome the gap that has now been created with Kirk Cousins. If Kirk Cousins is healthy enough to go a full season, I think the Falcons have a very talented roster. Again, the rich get richer. Because the Falcons made the deals that they did and are going to obviously be well positioned with Kirk Cousins at quarterback, they're going to get some good players in this draft. They might lose some of the draft picks because of tampering, but all things considered, the Falcons are going to have a very young, very talented roster in a division that has question marks. Do I think the Bucs are going to take a step back? Yes. I don't think Baker Mayfield and the Bucs are going to duplicate the kind of success that they had last year. Do I think the Panthers are going to take a step forward? Not really. I think the Panthers may take a small step forward, but I don't think they're really going to contend for the division. The Saints are the only team you have to worry about, and frankly, the Saints have more question marks for me at head coach, at quarterback, in roster in general than the Atlanta Falcons. So just to complete the thought, I think the Falcons are well positioned. If I had to make a bet right now, I say the Falcons win the NFC South, and I take the over on their win total. Travis, how do you feel about Houston under 5.5, Yankees under 5.5, Texas under 5.5, Seattle under 4.5, and the Rockies under 4.5? There were a couple 4.5s in there that I might have made 5.5s. But let's just take a quick look through my notes. Okay, first things first. Colorado under 4.5. I don't know. I don't feel as great about that as I probably should. So Michael King is on the bump, but the weather there in Coors is back to being favorable towards some offense. So I actually think the offenses, after that Monday swoon, are going to have much more success. Thank you, Deadpool. Are going to have much more success today. So I don't know if I feel strongly about the Colorado Rockies. I actually think the Rockies could get to 5 runs today. I could see that. They also have a number of really talented left-handed hitters in that lineup. So I wouldn't be surprised if they have some success actually against Michael King in that game. As for Seattle, again, I actually think they could have some success against Dane Dunning, so I'm not crazy about the under 4.5 on that one. You kind of have me 2 for 2. I'm going against you on the Rockies and the Mariners so far. I actually think that the Rangers under 4.5 is a better play with Logan Gilbert on the mound for the Mariners, a much better starting pitcher in my estimation than Dane Dunning. Next one that you had up there is the Yankees under 4.5. That's one where I'm on the fence about it. Paul Blackburn is a better pitcher than people think. A's actually have such a dominant bullpen as we saw yesterday. There's some reason to believe that the Yankees may struggle offensively in this game. They obviously got shut out yesterday. However, the trends that I looked at earlier today about how the Yankees perform after being shut out in the previous day's game suggest the over's a slightly better play. So I might actually go with the Yankees getting to 5 runs. I don't think I would take the under on that one. You also brought up the Houston Astros. I think it's going to be a slugfest between the Cubbies and the Astros. Really quick, just checking on the weather conditions, very, very favorable towards home runs and very favorable towards runs. I actually think that's a game in which we could see some offense. So we're going in opposite directions, Travis. Now, maybe I'm going with too many favorites in that case, but we're seeing things slightly differently today. So sorry about it. Jet, what isn't hitting? Atlanta minus 1.5, Dodgers minus 1.5, Baltimore on the money line, Kansas City on the money line, Tampa Bay on the money line. Okay, I'm going to take this. Orioles, I think, is a very, very tight game. I think that's probably one I would erase. I'm not crazy about that one, actually. I think that's a very tight game. I don't have enough confidence in that to go with it if that was immediately up there. Next one that we're looking at, you're talking about the Royals. I actually think the Royals bounce back. I like the Royals a little bit more, so I will go with Royals on that one just slightly, though again, very, very tight. You mentioned the Braves minus 1.5. I'd actually still go with it. I still like Braves minus 1.5. You talk about the Tigers and the Tampa Bay Rays. That's one in which I like the Rays on the money line. I feel comfortable with that one, but don't be surprised if the Tigers cover. So you may want to do a Rays money line, but also a Tigers plus 1.5. I think that's going to be a 1-run difference. As for Dodgers and Nationals, I wouldn't take it on the minus 1.5. They've actually haven't been performing that well. The Dodgers haven't. And the Nationals have been outperforming. So could I see the Dodgers offense breaking out? Yes. But I also could see the Nationals offense having a decent night as well. I could actually see that game going over its run total. It's right now set at around 9.5. If you could get it at over 8.5, I would like it a whole lot more. But I actually think the Dodgers on the money line would be the better play. But of all the ones that we discussed, Baltimore on the money line is actually the one that maybe has me the most nervous. I know that's kind of counterintuitive because it's the Angels, it's the Orioles. We know the narratives behind those two teams. But just based on the data that I have access to, Orioles is probably the one that I'd be willing to sideline, or I'd be kind of limited in how I put them into some parlays. John's asking about Phillies on the money line. For that one, I really think it's a toss-up of a game. I prefer the offense a whole lot more. Thank you so much for the money gun. I like the offense a whole lot more in that game. If I had to go in any direction, I really want to take the Phillies on the money line, but I don't have enough confidence in it. If I had to go with it, with the side, I probably would. But John, I like the over more than I like the money line in that game. Again, we have that up on our big board. If you guys have a question, no matter the platform, TikTok, YouTube, Twitch, or Kick, make sure you let us know. Kyle Klein, can we get an MLB moneyline rundown from you? Let's quickly look at it right now. I'm going to throw it up on Outlier, and we can just briefly talk about the games, the moneyline plays that I would go with for today. Feels like a lot of you guys like that. Now, that said, I'm going to say these are not picks that I am making. The segment we're about to do right now, Butt Fumble Sports, rundown for MLB moneyline plays, we are going to just say what we like, not what we're betting. What we like is just based off of a few data points, but not with enough conviction for us to bet it. We're just letting you know. We're just putting this out there. It is in your hands to decide how you want to play it. Between the Red Sox and the Guardians, not a game, again, that I would necessarily go with. If I had to go in any direction on this one, I would take the under. The under's the play for me. Again, I know we're talking money lines on this one. The Red Sox seem to be the better play. Honestly, with Tanner Houck on the mound, Red Sox on the money line, Red Sox plus 1.5. So if I had to go in any direction, I really don't want to take the Red Sox right now because their offense is so depleted, the injuries, but they have the right starter on the mound. They're coming off a day of rest. I have to believe that actually they're the better play. Again, plus 1.5 you can get at minus 205 on Caesars. Not a bad play. Personally, I'm taking the under 8.5. However, the money is favoring the over just a little bit. Continuing to go through MLB money line, Brewers, Pirates. The money is favoring the Brewers on this one on both sides. And if I had to go in any direction, I'd probably lean just slightly towards the Pirates, but not by enough for me to think this isn't a good play. I think Pirates plus 1.5, though, is probably what I'd go with. So far in the first two games we've looked at, I actually like the underdog to cover on the plus run line as opposed to taking the money line favorite. Phillies and Reds, you already know that I like the over in this game. If I had to go in any direction, I'm going to take the Phillies, but I don't have great conviction in it. I think there's going to be offense in this game, which ultimately could mean that last ups is the difference. Can the Phillies bullpen hold it? Is there a reason for me to get nervous about that? But if I had to go in any direction right off the cuff, this would be the first favorite that I would take. It would be Phillies on the money line. Just believing that even in a coin flip game, I like their offense just a little bit more, I believe. Dodgers and Nationals. Dodgers obviously probably needed the day off as much as anybody. I do like the Dodgers on the money line. Happy to put that one up on the big board so you guys know that is definitely one that's a high conviction play. I think the Dodgers are going to right the ship tonight, but I don't think I have enough conviction in them to take them minus 1.5. We talked about it a moment ago. I would love to take them on the run line as a heavy favorite, but I just don't feel like the Nationals are a team to be overlooked. That could be just a team that's got a little bit of youth, that's playing well early in the year. They don't know just what their fate is quite yet, but they've put a scare into some opponents, and there's reason to believe that the Dodgers are aware of just how talented that this Nationals team is. I expect, like I said, Mookie Betts to have a big game. I'll take the Dodgers on the money line, but don't be surprised if the Nationals cover at plus 1.5. I feel like this could be a one-run game when all's said and done. You could probably get Nationals plus 2.5 actually really quick. Nationals plus 2.5 is minus 132. I personally think that's incredibly disrespectful. I understand that Patrick Corbin has absolutely sucked in his career against the Dodgers. He has been dog poop on your porch in summertime, stinking up the joint. But that said, Nationals plus 2.5 is actually one that I would feel good about taking. I'm not going to put it up on the big board because I haven't drilled into it enough for me to do it. But plus 2.5, just how they've been performing, they've been doing well. In fact, let's jump into that really, really quick. I'm actually kind of curious to know if this is a better play. Nationals is the team we're going to focus on. And when they're a home, let's just say when they're a dog. When they're a dog so far this year, they've covered the spread in 12 of the 20 games that they've played so far. Crazy, we've already played 20 games. Let's see, at home dog. They're 4-5 on the run line. What I'm really looking for is when they lost by 3 runs or more. That happened against Ranger Suarez. That happened against Aaron Nola. It happens when they face top-tier pitching. The question is James Paxton considered top-tier pitching? I don't think so right now. With how James Paxton's been performing, I don't feel that case. So I'm more inclined to take the Nationals to cover. I know the under's actually been a stronger play over this stretch, so I like the over, but keep your eye apparently on the under based on the trend. So definitely one in which I'm splitting on the total. Continuing to move down, Tigers and Rays. This is one in which I do like the Rays on the money line. I think this could be a cover by the Tigers, but I like the Rays on the money line. I'm actually willing to put this one up on the big board as well. Rays on the money line. I think the Rays bounce back. Rays on the money line is going to be the play for me. A's and Yankees. Man, Yankees were a heavy, heavy favorite yesterday and lost. Got shut out. I think the Yankees get a win, but I think this is a very close game. Again, look for the A's to potentially cover. The A's bullpen is for real, and the Yankees bats are having some issues, so keep your eye on this one. I do think the Yankees ultimately get the win, so I'll put that one up on the board for all of those that are paying attention. That's Yankees on the money line. We are taking the Yankees to win for tonight's action. Marlins and Braves. We are talking about this one earlier in the show. Braves, we like. Braves minus 1.5 is even a play that we would be into. I would take them on the money line straight up, but if you wanted to take the minus 1.5, no problem with that. I think they're going to cash it. Blue Jays and Royals. This one in which the money is favoring the Blue Jays. However, if I had to go in any direction, I might actually take the Royals plus 1.5. So this is one in which I'm going away from the money, walking the plank on this one and walking with the sports books. I think the Royals cover. Royals plus 1.5. I feel a little bit better about this one. Astros and Cubs. I think there's going to be offense in this one. If you can get over 9.5, take it. As for the which side of this one I'm going with, I prefer the Astros, but slightly. The money has shifted over towards the Cubs. Probably not a game to touch. If I had to go in any direction, I'll take the Astros, but confidence level on this is very low, so definitely one I'm not advocating for. White Sox and Twins. Guys, if there's any exercise that you want to use every single day, like taking your vitamins just to make sure that you have a pulse, just bet against the White Sox this year. Will there be a point in which the White Sox win a game, 2, maybe even 3 in a row? Sure. And those 3 games, you might get frustrated that this little exercise of chasing wins against the White Sox will have failed you. But over the course of this season, the White Sox are going to suck. The White Sox are going to not just be trash, they are going to be a landfill. They are literally playing out the storyline from Major League. This team wants to go to Nashville. Their owner wants to go to Nashville. They want to move this ball club. You cannot tell me right now that the White Sox are competing and doing everything necessary to stay in Chicago and put a winning product on the field. Everybody knows it. It's already out there on social media. I don't need to beat a dead horse, but what I will beat is a bet against them every single day. So, do I love the Twins today? I love them enough. I love the team that's playing the White Sox. Who are my two favorite teams every day? The team that wins and the team that's playing against the White Sox. Probably a good chance they're the same team. So I would go with the Twins today. And if you guys just want to make that a routine, now the Twins are going off at minus 275. Okay, let's just take a quick look. Let's just take a quick look and see what the White Sox have done on the run line. White Sox, as an underdog this year, are 8-14 on the run line. If you had bet on them $100 on the run line, you'd be down $850. If you had bet against the White Sox on the run line every game, you'd be plus 630. Just bet against the White Sox. Minus 1.5 in favor of whatever team it is. Now, I'm not saying to do this with the mortgage. I'm not saying it's a lock of the day. I am saying that this team is so bad that there will be movies about them in which they are mocked. So this is just a squad in which, and they've got injuries like White Sox. Take the other side, take Twins. You could take Twins minus 1.5. I'm just letting you guys know. That is the world I am living in. It is what, I think that, what's his name from Pardon My Take is talking about how he bets against the A's every day. A's have some talent. Look at that A's bullpen. A's have a couple of starting pitchers. A's have some speed. The Oakland A's actually, in this way, they're still playing money ball. They're using bullpen, they're using speed, they're using small ball to account for the fact that they don't have a lot of home runs in their lineup. However, you know who's a team that just lacks talent? It's called the Chicago White Sox. Bet against that team on the run line, and then eat your vegetables, kiss your wife, pay your taxes, and life will be good. These are things that we should just do every day. Anyways, since we're continuing to just roll on, Frost FN brings up a good point. Frost FN, do we still do celebrity picks? So I am going to ask you guys, do you guys like celebrity shots? We did that during the summer. We were looking for some ways to engage with you guys during the show. And one of the things we came up with is we did a celebrity shot contest every single day. You guys would have to DM me on Instagram your favorite pick of the day. The winner got a free, it ended up being a free sweatshirt from Butt Fumble Sports' store. If you guys want to participate in that again, let me know. I am more than happy to do another celebrity shot contest where, as we do our picks every single day, you let us know what your favorite bet is every day. How about this? I'm willing to do this for the month of May. For the month of May, we will do a celebrity shot contest, okay? So for all those watching on YouTube, TikTok, Twitch, Kick, Twitter, X, wherever you're watching Butt Fumble Sports right now, for the entire month of May, every single day, submit your favorite bet of the day, your favorite pick, whatever it is. Obviously, we'd like you to pick something that's a little bit challenging. If it's like a minus 1,400 bet, we're all going to mock you and throw eggs at your house. But that said, if you want to participate, we will do a Butt Fumble Sports celebrity shot contest. You give us your favorite bet of the day. You'll have to DM me on Instagram, Butt Fumble Sports. DM me on Instagram, Butt Fumble Sports. DM me every day your favorite pick. If you get it right, we'll put it in the win column. You get it wrong in the loss column. And at the end of the month, the person who has the most wins, the person with the most wins, so you got to participate. You got to get it in. You got to be a part of it every single day. The person with the most wins gets to buy anything from our store. You get one thing from our store for free, whatever you want it to be. So we will do that for the month of May. Just decided we're going to do that right now. Za King, Marcelo Zuna, over half a home run. Sounds good, buddy. Let me know. Yana McConnell for points. Let's get back to some of our work, and let's look up a player prop bet. McConnell on points, everybody. I know we actually didn't finish up with our MLB picks, but we got through enough of them. I felt like we covered some good ground. Only a few more games that we missed in there. Just to finish up for you guys, I'd lean towards the Giants. I'd avoid the Orioles and Angels game. I lean towards the Padres on the money line, and I lean towards the Mariners on the money line. Between the Cardinals and the Diamondbacks, I'm probably going Cardinals. I just don't feel good enough about it to take it myself. Sorry about it. Okay, let's go TJ McConnell. We're checking him out on points. 10.5 is the point total that we have set for him. He's got a great matchup. The Bucks are one of the worst defenses in the NBA against point guards when it comes to points allowed. 28th in points allowed to point guards. He had been very consistent with this prior to game 1. In fact, this was one of the better bets around. On the road, still a very consistent play. 7 of his last 10. Head-to-head against the Bucks, that's where he struggled. 3 of his last 4, this has missed on the road. If we look at it overall, if we look at it against the Bucks overall, this is only hit in 1 of his last 4 games. So whatever is going on with the Bucks and right now, he struggles against the current Bucks lineup. Maybe he was better actually during the Drew Holiday years. But if you're going to take him over on points, take him at over 9.5, take him at over 8.5. But I actually don't like this as much as I probably should. Over 8.5 is a phenomenal play, but it's a minus 230 bet. So, PK, what's good? Jorge, excited to hear you're going to do a celebrity shot contest. Doghouse breaks. I'm not going to bet that game, but if I had to go in any direction, I'm leaning towards the Bucks, buddy. Lean towards Bucks. If you love the content, if you love watching me talk sports every day, make sure you hit the follow button. If you're watching out on YouTube, Twitch, or Kick, make sure you subscribe. That way you never miss a show when we go live, because I do this almost every day talking sports with you guys. Love doing it. Make sure you're a part of the show. Any no home run plays for today? Very good question, actually. Let's go take a look. If there was one game today in which I were to say there were going to be no home runs, I actually might go with the Blue Jays and the Royals. Blue Jays, Royals, or White Sox and Twins. Blue Jays, Royals, or White Sox, Twins. Those are the 2 I probably say no to home runs the most. The only other game I'd put in that category is Mets, Giants. So 3 games in which I could see no home run being hit is Mets, Giants, Blue Jays at Royals, and White Sox at Twins. Appreciate the question. A fun one coming out there. I want to put 500 on a 2-pick parlay. Give me 2 picks. Well, man, you're putting me to it right here. I think the Rangers on the money line. I haven't put that up on the board yet, but I think the Rangers are going to win tonight. Rangers on the money line. Man, this is another night in which I like the home teams. I really like the home teams in the NHL tonight. Honestly, Zaking, I might lower the unit amount, and I might put it down on a couple of round robins on home teams in the playoffs tonight. We've already seen home teams kind of dominate so far in the NBA and the NHL. I think home teams play very well tonight. Keep your eye on the home teams. I'm saying it now. That's in the NHL. We've already covered some of the MLB. As for the NBA tonight, I'm leaning towards the Timberwolves just slightly. I think the Suns could cover a spread of 4.5, so keep your eye on that. But I think the Timberwolves ultimately win. I like the Bucks. If I had to go in any direction there, Mavericks Clippers is the one that I really don't know. Kawhi Leonard's supposed to be starting now, or he was at least seen at shoot around. He is on the injury report, I believe. He's a game-time decision. I'm not going to bet that game because I don't know what I really have in the Clippers with Kawhi, without Kawhi. It's going to be a close one there. But right now, I'm leaning Timberwolves. I'm leaning Bucks. In the NHL, I'm leaning Rangers. I'm leaning Panthers. I'm leaning Winnipeg Jets, and I'm leaning Canucks. I'm just going heavy on the home teams right now. Maybe the Canucks is the only one that I'm not as crazy about. But I like the home teams and the other ones. In the MLB, probably the games that I like the most in the MLB, I do think the Yankees win tonight. I don't think they lose back-to-back against the Oakland Athletics. I really like the Braves tonight. I think the Braves on the money line is a very good play as well. Those are 2 bets that I feel very strongly about. So those are some of my favorite bets of the day. Appreciate you guys being with us. Hope you guys are enjoying the show. We are going to wrap things up here really quick. I'm going to recap all the picks that we've given out throughout the show. So listen up, everybody. Here are the picks that we have given out throughout the show. So listen up right now. We like the Braves on the money line. Braves on the money line. We also like Braves and Marlins to go over 7.5, over 8 runs. We like Phillies and Reds over 8.5 runs. We like the Mets and Giants under 7.5 or under 8 runs. We like the Dodgers on the money line. We like the Rays on the money line. We like the Yankees on the money line. And we like the Twins on the money line. We also, when it comes to player prop bets, like Trey Turner over 1.5 hits, runs, and RBIs, as well as Trey Turner over half a run. We like Mookie Betts over half 1.5 total bases, and Mookie Betts over half a run. In the NHL, as we mentioned a moment ago, we like the Panthers on the money line, the Rangers on the money line, and the Jets on the money line. And finally, we gave out a player prop bet earlier tonight that we like Dame Lillard over 28.5 points or over 29.5. We think he does get to 30 points tonight. We've had a lot of fun talking sports with you today. I hope you guys have enjoyed the show so much. I so enjoy being with you guys every single day. Make sure you hit the follow button. Make sure you subscribe. Make sure you never miss a time when we go live. I absolutely love doing this, guys, with you guys every day. Being able to talk sports, sports betting, and fantasy sports is my favorite thing to do. And I just love being able to see so many familiar handles in the comments section, so many loyalists that join us every day and give us their various takes, ask questions. It's just an absolute joy. So if you love the content, the conversation, or how we do our work here at Butt Fumble Sports, make sure you follow, make sure you subscribe, and hopefully we will see you again tomorrow. Again, we are getting so close to the NFL draft. Tomorrow is going to move so slowly. It's going to feel like an eternity. I can't wait for Thursday, but tomorrow we have plenty of action to talk about again. So make sure you join us. We will be live at around 4:30 tomorrow. 4:30 is going to be the time of our show. 4:30 is going to be the time of our show tomorrow. So make sure you join us on TikTok, YouTube, Twitch, and Kick. Until then, DM me on Instagram if you want our picks, if you have any questions, if you want to engage off the air. Butt Fumble Sports on Instagram. DM me anytime. Love hearing from you guys. Have a great night, everybody. Enjoy the playoff action. Enjoy all this sports. Stay healthy, stay safe, and I'll catch you guys on Wednesday afternoon. Goodbye, everybody.